experiencing deep pleasure requires you to surrender yourself to yourself. It requires you to be. Very often when something is coming up, we are trying, let's say, a trigger or an activation, emotion, thoughts, a story, an old story that is actually limiting us to experience ourselves in love, in ecstasy, in the orgasmic. It requires us to be with it, but not being with it, judging it, because this is what happens often. Then we get triggered, we get activated, old stories are coming up, thoughts, emotions, actions. We start labeling it. We go on autopilot. And the moment you notice it, I want to invite you to open up for love, to see the perfection of it, to stop blaming it, to stop blaming you, and let it flow through you. Because what we often do, we become active, it gets uncomfortable, and we're like, I don't want to be with that. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to think like that. So we're getting into the active mode, trying to fix it, trying to get out of it. And there are different ways of doing it. And for a long time, this has been my strategy. To move it immediately. Sit down in meditation or get into a different state, get into a different frequency. Get elevated again. And yes, it works, but it can just become another strategy based on lack consciousness. Something is wrong. I need to go and fix it. And this is what I'm noticing a lot. The lack consciousness being present in this kind of behavior. So again, it just becomes another strategy, another prison, where we think, actually, where we're fooling ourselves, doing the work, elevating ourselves. But what if you don't need to be elevated? What if the elevation is actually what is right now? And this opens up a whole different experience for you. When you no longer need to fix what is, need to get yourself out of it. When you accept what is. But not from a state of there's something wrong with you. From a state of this is perfection. Every moment is perfection. I am perfection. What else is there to experience? Being open to experience even more love, even more elevation, even more bliss, even more wealth, even more connection. So then we often either cut off the one by telling ourselves that there's something wrong with us, and it takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy to constantly be in that mode of trying to get higher, get better, vibing higher. But what if the highest vibe that you can be on is love? love for yourself, love for what is now, and still being open for even more love, for more experiences that are cracking you even more open. So then it's giving yourself the permission to be right now. I had a beautiful situation yesterday. This is actually how I got inspired to talk about it. To have this conversation with you, because I know how important it is. And I know what difference it creates when we are stopping ourselves from fixing ourselves and figuring out what's wrong, figuring out what else needs to be changed, what else needs to be shifted. I mean, it's one way of doing it, and it works. But there's even another way available for you. And that is being with what is right now. Not wanting to have anything different, but choosing an even more elevated experience. Why? Because you can choose it. Because it's available for you. Because everything is available for you. So then we shift automatically, not by force. We shift automatically from lack consciousness to the consciousness of abundance and love. And the consciousness of abundance, the consciousness of love, the consciousness of the divine is limitless. But then this is what happens very often, is that we're cutting it off there by telling ourselves, okay, but we should not ask for more. But I want you to ask for more, because there is always more of you to be experienced. But I really want you to shift from needing to allowing. And needing, it's like kind of you fighting for it, you going against your truth, you're going against your essence, even though you think you're not. Giving yourself the permission is being with what is. Being clear about what you want to experience. And there again, we're being told that we should not ask, should not want too much. This is the experience of lack, the consciousness of lack, limitation. Why? If anything, if everything is available to us, why should we hold back to experience it? Opening up for it, for whatever it is that you're longing for. So then the other day, yesterday, I had this experience where where doubt was kicking in. Doubt, and I don't know what else. It was mainly about doubt, doubting myself. And I immediately, that's my pattern. That was my pattern. I immediately went into it trying to fix it, trying to become aware of my thoughts, changing my emotions, changing my action, doing something to get rid of it. That's what I've been doing those past years. Elevating my consciousness, elevating myself, remembering more of the truth. And it guided me where I am. And it reminded me that I am pure perfection right now. And I can still, in that perfection, open up for even more. So then the doubt that was coming up, the doubt that was kicking in, I chose not to work with it. I chose not to change my perception. I chose not to shift it. I chose to let it be. I chose to be with it. Again, for my consciousness of abundance, of wholeness. Not identifying myself with it. Recognizing the truth behind it. And the truth behind it is love, is abundance, because that's just what is. The polarity, the duality, good and the bad, when you bring it together, just love. So then it is love that expands. It takes a lot of effort for you to constantly trying to figure out what else to do, how else to do it, staying elevated, staying up high there. Instead of choosing that you are connected, that you are love, that you are abundance right now. And then the moment I chose to be with it from a state of loving it, it disappeared very quickly, because it guided me right back into the truth. And the truth, again, is love, is abundance. So then when you start creating from this space your desires, your dreams, making those visions become reality, manifest them into this three-dimensional reality. It's getting faster and faster, because you no longer separate yourself from what is. Instead, you choose to be it. So you're choosing love. Love attracts. Love is one of the highest frequencies. So then it's no longer about becoming somebody. It's about remembering that you are it right now. And this elevates your experience, the experience with yourself, with life, very, very profoundly. Very profoundly. Because you're connected to your truth. You're connected to you. You no longer resist. You no longer are with something that you don't want to be. Instead, you welcome it in. And believe me, it has a huge impact on you, the connection with yourself. When you start loving you and start loving what is, to then start loving what you want to experience, your desires, loving them to life. Instead of being constantly in resistance with what is, trying to figure out how to get rid of it, elevating yourself, working with your frequency. Instead of choosing love as the truth. And that doesn't mean that it's not getting uncomfortable. Being with it from a state of love, from a consciousness of love, doesn't mean that it's all easy and all comfortable. It means being with it. And however that looks like in that very moment, we don't know. But what I know, when you are being with it, going through with it, what you're experiencing is love and bliss and wealth in a way you can't figure out with your mind. You are being mind blown of how you're feeling, mind blown by who you are, mind blown by the level of love that is flowing through you, rushing through you, reminding you of your truth. And this is orgasmic. And this is my mission here. To really be with all that is. With all that is. And you will see how quickly, the more you give yourself the permission, the more you notice, the more you experience that it's actually not that bad, not that scary. The more you experience it, the more you are with it, and the quicker it goes for you to get through it. So then it's no longer about sitting there for hours in your meditation, doing this and doing that, and getting out of it, feeling differently, feeling love, connected to love. Love is right now in every moment. So then it's all about being you, being in that, being in ecstasy, being you. Like, wow. Inspiring others, those around you, to be too. Experiencing, witnessing the art, the magic unfolding, the masterpiece. Every tear, every scream, every laughter, just everything. You're surrendering yourself to yourself. And the more you do that, the more you open up for wonders, for the wonder that you are, and the more you actually start experiencing wonders all around you. Just showing up, because you are the wonder. Wonder attracts wonder. Love attracts love. So give yourself the permission to be fully with all that is.